In this video, you're gonna see exactly what it looks like to rehab a fire damaged property. This property behind me is actually the same property that we talked about on our last video. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. I have our buyer with us and the person that found us the buyer to go check this property out. Let's go see exactly what needs to happen on this rehab. So here's what happened. He lived in here with his wife, and then on the bottom floor was where the son was at. Obviously the smoke alarms and stuff probably went off. He told us that the son tried saving the wife and was like doing whatever he could to do it, and then all of a sudden she must have got brought in an ambulance, and then days later.
So I actually just found out, talking to the neighbor, that what had happened was the husband was asleep, the wife I think was awake, ended up catching on fire, literally was outside by the garage sitting, talking, like after all this happened.
She was alive, like good.
She walked out of the building. That's what I heard.
Wow.
Yeah, enough to walk herself to the ambulance who was parked on the street when they came. Yeah,
Dude,
it's
I could
just
not
heartbreaking.
imagine.
Heartbreaking.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we got our guy Carlos here who bought the property. I do have some questions because I have never rehabbed a fire damaged property at all in my life. We wholesaled this deal to Carlos. He's our buyer on it. For me, I don't have any experience in fire damage, right? So like, we got to find some experts. It's Carlos, so that he's done some fire damage properties before. One of my first questions when I got here was like, how did you not have to go like tear up the whole entire roof and stuff? So Carlos, like when you came in here and assessed it to see if it was a deal or not, what made you think in your mind, all right, I'm not gonna have to like fully take off the roof and like get into the joists and all the structural stuff? Because I'm assuming that's where the biggest renovation cost would be if that was the case.
So the fire didn't go up into the attic.
Got it.
So the attic is completely good. The fire was mainly limited to over here.
Okay.
Over here. So basically from here.
So is this where the fire started, back here?
It must have started in this area because this was the worst.
This was the worst damage.
The worst damage area, and you can see the wood up there is charred.
Wow. Got it. So did you like poke up and see, like just to make sure?
We went into the attic. We could go into the attic.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but you definitely did that before we went under contract.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? You
No,
just,
I didn't.
How'd you know that it wasn't like that bad?
I don't know, just...
You gotta take risks, bro. Like sometimes you gotta do it.
The way I looked at it is I've done several houses where I had to do electrical all over.
Yeah.
And I had to sheetrock the house all over.
Makes sense.
So worst case scenario, I have to do a full electrical and
Yeah.
full sheetrock, which wasn't an issue for me. So that's kind of like how I looked at it. Whether it was the whole house or part of the house. In this situation, it's about part of the house. The building inspector had pictures of the property, and they said, yeah, you have to gut this, this, and this, which is fine. That's what we did.
Got it. So you're just like full gut regardless. Numbers still work if it's a full gut. Makes a lot of sense. So what you did so far is pretty much just gut all this. This used to be sheetrocked over, I'm assuming, like right here.
Plaster.
Well, that's pretty good. You were telling me, what is this called? This lattice. So Carlos was telling me outside, he's like, yeah, there's lattice. So there's one sheetrock before the lattice, right? And then there's
plaster. So this holds the plaster. This is what holds the plaster.
Oh, because it's older. Plaster.
When you do sheetrock, you can just put it into the stud. So you don't really need this anymore when you're doing sheetrock.
Got it. Yeah,
that
makes sense.
But when it was plaster, we needed that to hold the plaster.
So this must have happened like, they built this property a while ago.
It was probably the original walls.
Yeah. Was it like the horsehair plaster? Either way, it was the old plaster. So the old plaster was before this wood piece right here, and then the studs. So it probably would have been a pain in the butt if the fire went into the studs.
This is it right
and would have been more
You can
expensive.
get an idea of
Got it. Let's check it out over here.
And they wedged through the board.
Ah, got it. So that's how the plaster sticks to this.
Yeah.
But it might have like saved this property, because if the fire went into the studs, that would have been a wrap.
Yeah.
Right?
The plaster and the lattice kind of,
Saved it from going inside here.
The thickness of the plaster too.
Yeah. Yeah, that is super thick. So the plaster is, my father is actually a plasterer.
It's probably about 1/2 inch.
So they probably just slapped that stuff on back in the day. Wow.
So right now we're working on electrical.
Okay.
We're gonna rewire the whole second floor.
Okay. Got it. Oh, okay. So there's gonna be 2 electrical panels, one up here, one downstairs?
Yeah.
Got it. Love it. Is the electrical pretty much the biggest project in the whole deal?
I would say yes.
Yeah. Because all the electrical probably gets burnt up and like
Yeah.
melted, I guess.
Removing the old wiring, removing the old fixtures, and then running the new wiring and putting in the new fixtures.
Well, and I think also in something like this, if it's hard to tell if the wire is bad right off the rip or
Yeah.
going to be bad, and obviously
Yeah, so you gotta
that's a
take it
huge
all out.
risk. Yeah.
Exactly. Do you know how the fire happened?
I'm not sure how the fire happened. I don't think anyone knows how the fire happened.
Yeah, the owner doesn't know. The neighbor essentially was like, she's the only one that knows how it started. So, yeah, everyone's kind of in the dark on that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what are your plans with the deal?
We're gonna add a couple bedrooms. We're gonna turn the offices into bedrooms and make it a 4-bedroom unit. Our plan is to sell, but honestly, we never know. It depends what we have going on. So it's a possibility we could rent it.
Got it.
It just depends what we have going on with our other properties.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's usually what we'll do. We'll make sure that we're able to rent it out and both sell it. Like,
Yeah.
so the numbers work for both.
Yeah, so
Or else we won't do the deal.
it'll work for.
Cool, bro.
That's awesome.
Love it. Well, I appreciate you showing us the place.
No problem.
You are the man.